Well, there's Dan. He's getting ready to test his brand new Mercury 3.5 motor. He's got a few things he'd like to share about testing it.
Yep, well, it's the first time. So what I did is I built this stand out of 2x4s and this little 1/2 inch by 3 inch right here for the support. And I just kind of rigged it up out of the scraps I had in the backyard. And basically it seems to work real well. But one thing I did do is I made it a little bit high. So what I have to do is use a couple of bricks down here to put the bucket on so I can put the water in and run the engine. But Brian, a friend of ours, is going to be over here in a little while, and we're going to gas it up for the first time, put oil in it for the first time, and start it up, and hopefully it'll run real well for us.
Let's hope so, because we're planning on going to the Eagle's Nest here in a week or two, right?
About 2 weeks we'll be going to Eagle Nest, and we want to make sure she's running good and everything when we get out there so we can do a little fishing.
Right. Well, you've been busy too in your garden, haven't you, Dan?
Yeah, I planted some corn, and I planted some colorful pumpkins. And then on the far side here, I've got 4 jalapenos, some bell pepper.
Well, why don't we walk up there and take a look at some things?
I'm watering it right now. So, because it's getting pretty hot right now in Albuquerque. So, what I've done, and all these weeds that you're seeing over here, I have to get rid of because we've had a lot of rain and a lot of snow this year. So I'm trying to get control of these weeds, and it is tough to keep control of those weeds.
Well, and every time you try to get out, it's either too hot, the wind's blowing, or it's raining. You can't do much right now.
The weather's been pretty ridiculous. But anyway, I got corn coming up here. You can see a few of those. I replanted some areas here that kind of failed to germinate, so I replanted those today, so I'm watering it right now. And then here I'm going to put some zinnias in, and here are my jalapenos right here.
Yeah. 4 jalapenos?
Yeah, they're the super jalapenos, the jumbos.
That's so we can have jalapeno poppers, right?
Right.
Yep.
And then these 2 are bell peppers.
Good.
And then I have zucchini squash right here. This one here's doing real well. That one there is just germinated and coming up now.
Well, maybe we can have some zucchini bread.
That's why I plant them, because Emily makes some great zucchini bread. When she makes zucchini bread, it's great.
Well, thank you, honey. I appreciate that.
And then these are plum tomatoes. So I'm used to planting the beefsteak tomatoes that my dad taught me to plant, but I've got so many canned right now that we just need a few to eat on and those types of things. So these are all plum tomatoes here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I'd like to try these plum tomatoes because they have less seeds and more meat to them, and we might, if we're successful, they might be our new canning tomato too. So.
And then we got to take care of our girls here. We have
4 little chickens.
Six laying hens, and they're starting to get pretty hot, so I'm going to put a little cover over them. So
yeah, we're going to put the sunscreen over them.
Yeah, so
that'll help.
It's hot.
It's a lot of work, and I don't know how we're going to manage this one this year. It's just between trying to get out and enjoy our lives a little bit, first year of not having to get up every day and go to work, then having to take care of the homestead. This is the little Huffman Ranch you see right here. Oh, and there's that wind chime that my brother and sister
and we've had that for about 4 years now, maybe 5 years, and it's still up and going, and it sounds just great out here when the wind kicks up. So.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Well, anyway, get that boat running.
Yep, that's coming up real soon here.
Oh, by the way, look at the peach tree. We got a lot of good peaches coming on. Dan does have a green thumb.
Now you see one here, that's a pretty nice one. Right here, there's a couple of them there. They're just kind of scattered all throughout the tree here, but it won't be as many as we've had in the past. You can see some up here, but we'll get quite a few out of it.
Yeah, the wind blew quite a few down, right?
That's right, that dadgum wind.
It's been really a terror this year between the wind and like I said, the wind, the rain,
it get cold and then
hot.
Get windy.
Yeah.
Cold, windy, and then now it's hot and windy. So
yeah, and the sun this year I'm sure it's been going on for the last few years anyway, but it just seems hotter. I don't know if it's because we're getting older, but it just seems like that sun just beats down and just beats you to death.
That's right. And you
Yeah.
got to drink a lot of cold water right now.
Yeah, a lot of cold water, but we do have, just so that we don't have to be miserable all the time, Dan did set up our little misters on our table. So, and then of course we have another mister right in front of us. So if we're out here working, we can at least come over and sit under the little mister deals and cool off. And umbrellas, they're everywhere, but no matter how hard you try, it still just it's just almost unbearable. Of course, the dogs love it. Anyway, that's that for this little installment.
And we'll see in just a little while when we get that boat motor running, we'll see how she does.
And then we're going to go and get the tag for the trailer, and Dan's got to put those cleats on tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
So,
that's right.
yeah, or maybe Tuesday for the cleats. Don't know. Depends on how everything goes.
That's right.
All
Talk
right.
to you in a little bit.
Okay. Here.
Well, we're doing it right now. Brian's here giving me a hand because I can't see real good out of this side here. But Brian's pouring the 10 ounces of oil right now into the machine to start so we can start our filling up our oil. We'll go to 10 ounces and then maybe 13. It all depends on what we put in.
Oops.
Then 2 more ounces.
3 more.
3 more?
2 more, you're right.
Okay. She's starting.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Halfway. Here we go.
We've done all the right steps.
Halfway going, right?
There goes your water.
There you go, just like it.
It wasn't totally warm, so half choked to restart it, and it's good.
You can get it.
Yep. Well, thank goodness. I was afraid there for a minute we were going to have to send it back to the factory.
Running real good.
Are you happy now?
Yep, thanks, Brian.
And the oil's halfway, so that looks good.
Yep. So Brian won't let me put him in the camera, but we do owe Brian a big thank you for being here to help out
We're going to go in
today.
there and have a beer now.
Yeah. Well, y'all can have a beer. I'm going to have a drink of club soda with a little wine in it. Celebrate. Well, it took a little while to get this thing started, boy. But now she's running pretty good. Poor O'Brien, he sure did, he built a big Popeye muscle while pulling that cord on there. Grateful he was here to help us with it. What a pain in the neck. Prepping for the cleats. Trying to make sure those holes get big enough so the screws go down. And I tell you what, that's not as easy a job as we thought it was going to be. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck. But that's what makes us such a good team. We work well together, isn't that right?
It should. Yeah, we should get it done. It might take us all day, and we'll have to bring a flashlight for tonight. But we'll
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah, we did get the back ones done, so they were a pain. But thank goodness my hands are smaller than Dan's, and that helped us to get that all done. And the tag's on. So cool. To close out this video, I thought that I would like to just put a little personal bit of information. 3 years ago, now about 4 years ago, I guess in August, is when Dan had his stroke. And I had just started my job with Fidelity. And it was traumatic. That's the only thing I can say to it, is just purely traumatic experience, not knowing what to do. You know, it took both of us. We were a 2-earner family, and we were just getting ready to start socking it away for a retirement and having a little extra income for those times when it got rough. Dan, really, we were really blessed. God really blessed us. Dan was able to get a good recovery. It was hard for him. I kept working. Fidelity was very good to me, but I did hate that job. I did not enjoy it. I never got a day's worth of, well, I don't want to be that negative, but I hardly ever enjoyed going to work. I just wanted, and I worried every day about Dan and what might happen to him. But he did work very hard to bring himself back from that stroke. He started out just barely being able to speak, and now you see him in his videos. He did get, he took care of his own physical therapy, his own speech therapy, his own occupational therapy. We couldn't get any good help through our insurance. They just were gouging, and they weren't really helping him. So you can see what a talent he has. He created these artworks, not the clocks, of course, but it's not every single thing, but almost all of the woodwork. He was a taxidermist, so the fish are part of his repertoire, so to speak. He loved it. He just very creative human being. He did some Santa Claus videos that we'll probably bring those back out. They're on YouTube under Dan Huffman, but we'll probably bring those back out at Christmas. But this is the deer he did the mounted. He took this deer up in the Sandias and he's mounted it, and boy, that was some really good meat in the freezer. And of course, his necklaces that are made out of deer scat, they're really cute. And just such a creative. Our turkey, his turkey, there's the bear. I love him so much, and I got to retire early. God made sure that I got to retire early so that we could spend this time together, just enjoying the last years of our lives. We've both worked very hard, and so we're putting these together. We hope that you have some fun with us, and but if you don't, that's okay too. But at least we're living our dreams and enjoying every day that God provides us, because every day is such a blessing.